Great to have you with us again, and we're with Cowboy left-handed starting pitcher Harrison Bodendorf, who is well on his way to one of the best pitching seasons at Oklahoma State over the last decade or so. And let's start here. What has happened? What's your transformation been like to help you get to an even higher level since you came here? What's happened?
Yeah, definitely a couple of things. A big factor is I put on 20 pounds since getting here, which the added weights helped me with my velocity, especially like being able to maintain it longer throughout the game and kind of stuff like that. And then also adding my slider. I didn't really throw that slider my first 2 years of college, mainly fastball changeup. So having that third pitch that I can throw to both righties and lefties has been huge to not only just have a third pitch, but also it gets them off the other two pitches so that those two pitches are more effective. I'd say those are probably the two biggest things.
Yeah, when you're a left-hand pitcher and righties are hitting less than 200 against you, it usually means the changeup's really good.
Yeah.
Tell us about the changeup.
Yeah, it's I'd say it's probably my best pitch. And funny enough, it was a pitch I just stumbled upon going into my freshman year of college. I didn't really throw a changeup in high school. And I went out to play summer ball going into my freshman year, and I told my catcher, I'm like, hey, throw fastball, curveball, changeup, but mainly fastball, curveball, and I just said changeup because I didn't want to look like I only threw two pitches.
Gotcha.
So, but then when he called the curveballs in the first game I played out there, college seams are a lot smaller than the high school seams. So I was struggling to throw that curveball, just couldn't, they were all popping out, wouldn't spin. So then he was like, you know what? And he threw the changeup down, and I just grabbed like what I thought was a normal circle changeup grip and just did that and threw it. And then it ended up being really good. And that whole summer, I was mainly just throwing changeups and kind of got rid of the curveball, and that's how I got the changeup.
Oh my gosh, what a great story. That doesn't surprise me because from what I've read about you, you really like to study the game, study pitchers. I mean, I was reading about you know, Barry Zito, Madison Bumgarner. How much and how did you try to really dive in and study those guys younger so that you could pick things up? And obviously you must be a pretty good learner because it sounds like you can implement that stuff. Yeah,
I would say it's more of just watching than studying. I definitely am more of a, like, if I kind of see something, I'm like, if I see it, I think I can do it. So just, grew up a Giants fan, so watching Barry Zito, Madison Bumgarner, and they were lefties like me, so I obviously paid a little more attention to them when they were throwing. But yeah, I enjoyed watching them pitch and kind of wanted to hopefully be able to pitch like them someday.
Does that help, even just watching those guys, did it help you kind of create the savvy you have? That's one thing Josh Holliday and I were talking about, is you just have a lot of smarts and know-how, savvy about pitching. Does that go back to just even watching and trying to study those guys?
I mean, yeah, I definitely think you could say that. Just watching probably definitely more intently than some other kids my age as a younger kid, the game of baseball, and not just kind of watching it as a fan, watching it as a from player's perspective from a younger age. But I feel like, yeah, I've always kind of had a little more savvy, I feel like. And also I played for great coaches growing up, so they always kind of taught me some of the things in the game that maybe some other places you don't learn. And I definitely started playing travel ball over like Little League a lot younger than a lot of people do, so I think that also helped out with that.
It's funny, when I was reading that Barry Zito was one of your guys, and in fact sounds like one of your favorite players, if not your favorite, I thought, there's a lot of Barry Zito in you. I mean, I think about kind of how he threw it. Would you agree with that? I mean, there's some similarities, right?
Yeah, definitely some similarities. I mean, I think he had a little more over the top. That's why he was able to get the kind of the bigger curveball, but I guess you could say like my bigger slider is similar to his curveball. But I mean, yeah, he had one of the nastiest curveballs I've ever seen.
Oh boy, did he ever. You pitched a 10-inning game at Arizona. That had not been done in the Big 12 in, I think it was 15 years.
Jeez.
Walk us through that. I mean, we don't see that. You certainly never see it in the big leagues now. Those days are way over. You don't see it in college.
Yeah.
So take us through that night and sort of maybe reflect on, after the game, what you felt like that you'd actually pulled that off.
Yeah, I mean, during the game, I was kind of just focused. I didn't even realize that at one point I think I got like 15 batters in a row out or something in those middle innings, but I kind of just was really locked in. So between innings, I didn't even really know which inning I was going out for. And then get to the 9th inning, give up that home run to tie the game and get out of it, and came off and I was a little upset, wanted to win the game, and then Rob came up to me and he was like, all right, if we go and score here, it's your game. I'm sending you back out there.
Wow.
He's like, now if we don't score, we never know how long this game's going to be. Sure. Got to go to the pen. The pitch count's getting up there. But he's like, if we score, it's your game. And then so I just sat there praying that we'd score, and then it was actually kind of a long inning. So I went into the little locker room behind there to keep throwing some plyo balls, keep my arm loose, and then we ended up scoring, and I went back out there, and I mean, I felt as fresh as I did in the first inning, in that 10th inning with all the adrenaline and everything going on.
Yeah, it goes back to your strength that you're talking about, the 20 pounds you've added.
Yeah, and there were a lot of low-stress innings in that game, kind of when I was getting all those batters out in a row, just going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of puts no stress on you, so that also helped me kind of stay fresh throughout the game. And then, yeah, after the game, I was like, wow. Can't believe I just did that.
Yeah, you and a lot of other people, I might add. So impressive. When Rob Walton told you that and said, hey, if we score, it's yours, did that create any kind of even extra juice? Because, again, nobody does that. And he says, hey, if we score, it's yours. So take us through that moment.
Oh, yeah, I mean, definitely, because, I already had my chance to finish that game out on my own in the 9th and, kind of failed to do that. So when he said that, and if we scored, I knew that if we scored, I wasn't going to mess it up again. So, and I wasn't even really thinking about the fact that I was going out for the 10th inning during the game. I was just more thinking about the fact that I was going to be able to finish the game, kind of not realizing it was going to be 10 innings in one game. But yeah, I just knew that I wasn't gonna mess it up again. So if we scored, we were going to win.
In my 9 years, however long it's been, in doing the baseball on television here, I don't know that I've seen a pitcher better at managing the opponent's run game than you. So how have you arrived at being so good at limiting the opponent's run game? Of course, when they don't have base runners, that's the first thing you can do, and that's hard to do against you. But even when they're on, they're not doing much. Yeah,
I'd say definitely a lot of playing in the Big West my first 2 years. West Coast baseball is a lot more bunts, stealing, because you don't have those guys that kind of hit all the home runs and the heavy power hitters. So a lot of West Coast teams rely more on stealing, hit and runs, and the bunt game, things like that. So kind of having to play against those teams my first 2 years, I got used to having to be quicker to the plate and things like that. And then also, Rob does a great job of, with the scouting reports and stuff. He knows who the runners are that are kind of trying to steal, looking to do that. And so he does a good job of mixing in the picks, mixing in the slide steps, mixing in leg lifts to kind of just do everything that we can do to kind of keep them thrown off so that if they do try to steal, they don't get their best jump.
Yeah. It's interesting. You're talking about the Big West. I thought about that. It's a different game there than it is here. This is, the wind blows out a moment and everybody's trying to hit it out of the ballpark, especially at places like here in Kansas State, where it's very friendly. And don't want to go too far with this, but because of that, and you're a nibbler, I mean, you'll catch a corner here and a little off the corner here, and your location is just wonderful. Do you feel like it kind of matches up well against that style of offense? Because guys are pretty aggressive, and you do that against you, that pitch is on the border. It's hard to do much with it. Do you feel like that's a good matchup for you, or is that stretching the truth a little bit?
No, I think there's definitely some truth to that. If you can get a more aggressive hitter that I can kind of pitch backwards or kind of have them expand the zone a little bit on me, it definitely makes my life a lot easier. I can go change-ups early. They're trying to do damage, and they swing right over the top of it, thinking it's a fastball, and then kind of later they'll expand their zone a little more, trying to do damage to the ball. So I think it definitely helps for guys that are going to be more aggressive and kind of trying to take the bigger swings. And if I can put it where their big swing won't do damage, it'll definitely help me.
So Temecula, California, to Hawaii, to Stillwater. One thing is not like the other two, so to speak, and this is it. So what's it been like coming here, and have there been any challenges in the transition, and what have you liked about it?
Honestly, there's been no challenges. It's been great. The thing about me is, I've grown up with the beach, and I'd say I enjoy the beach, but I'd never say I love the beach or I miss the beach if I'm away from it. So I'd say that's probably the biggest difference between the two. But my biggest thing to do in my free time is golf anyways, and kind of hang out with my teammates. So to me, my teammates make the place, and I have great teammates here, and there's plenty of golf courses, and all my teammates like to go golfing. So kind of everything outside of baseball wise, if you look at it, California, Hawaii, and then Stillwater, you'd think maybe there's going to be some challenges on that aspect, but honestly, no. Kind of great teammates welcome me since I got here. I got a great house full of guys with my roommates and stuff, and then baseball side of things is obviously great here.
Okay, so you brought up golf, and you probably have figured out quickly that this probably is the best golf school in America,
Yeah.
and as much a golfy town as there is in America, Stillwater. So how good are you? And you can brag if you're good. It's fine.
No, I'm not great. I'm all right. Definitely getting better. My short game, I'd say, is probably the best part of my game. And if I hit my driver good, I can hit it good. The thing is, my driver and irons just aren't consistent enough. So my best round ever is a 78.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, but I've only done it once, and I don't even think I've got below like 83 since I shot the 78. I actually shot the 78 out here, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and but yeah, ever since then, haven't been playing the greatest golf, but just got to get the consistency.
It's finicky. Well, maybe you'll be like, if I remember right, there's a guy pitched for the Braves named Tom Glavine, who's a big-time left-hand pitcher. He could really golf.
Yeah.
So let's hope your golf game gets to his point and your career turns out like his did, because that'll be a win-win.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Harrison, thank you for the time. Congrats on your great season, and we look forward to watching you the rest of the year.
Awesome. Thank you so much.